Hello and welcome to EV Live. My name is Steph and I'm one of the mini EV specialists here at General Motors Live Electric Vehicle Studio. Now we're here to answer those questions that you may have. You can join us for a one-on-one session and ask questions about charging at home, charging on the go, EV ownership questions, anything that's coming to mind, we got your back. Now we're available 5 days a week. We're here Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and then also Friday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. That is Eastern Standard Time. You can find us in the US at evlive.gm.com and in Canada, we're at evlive.gmca. Now I'm really excited that you're joining me here today to learn a little bit more about the home charging experience. That's right, today I'm going to be going over the basics of charging at home. And if it's your first time joining us for one of these group tours, just so you know, I won't be able to see you or hear you at any point, so be sure to sit back and relax. Now there is a chat box found at the bottom left side of the screen. If you do have any questions, you can type them in there and I'll be sure to answer those questions before we wrap. And just so you know, it is a live presentation, so don't wait till the end to get those questions in. There is a little bit of a lag between when you type them and when I see them. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my camera and let's get started. We can make this really fun and interactive. Type in the chat box where you're joining me from and I'll be sure to give you a shout out live. Now typically, the beginning of charging your EV starts with a purchase or lease of an electric vehicle. And in studio, we have all fully electric vehicles here. Now this is one of my favorite EVs that we have in the studio, the Blazer EV. It really shows off the capability of our Ultium technology. You have 2 different battery sizes as an option and 4 different drive unit options. You can do front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, all-wheel drive, as well as at the top of the line, we have our SS Performance all-wheel drive as an option. Now I'm walking around here to show off the charging area. So when you are charging, this is where it will take place. It's actually at the front fender of the vehicle, very discreetly placed, which I think is so cool. This opens and closes effortlessly. And at the top there, we have the option for level 1 and level 2 charging. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And then if you join us again to learn more about charging on the go, by removing this desk cover here, you'll be able to charge DC fast charge or CCS combined charging system there. But today we're going to be talking all about level 1 and level 2. Now starting off, I did want to show you guys where charging takes place. It is in the battery, and luckily we do have a really nice mock-up of our Ultium platform. So I'm walking up here to the battery system. A brief introduction on how charging an electric vehicle works is energy from the grid is stored in this battery pack right here. So that's what we're looking at. This one is a multi-layer Ultium platform battery pack. It's actually for the Cadillac Celestiq. So if any of you guys guessed it, possibly the Crest gave it away, or the multi-layer platform there that we utilize for our low roof vehicles. But that's where the energy is stored, and it is stored in kilowatt hour. So when you're shopping around, you will see kilowatt hour mentioned. This vehicle features a performance all-wheel drive system. So very similar to the Blazer, you have, your drive unit in the front as well as that performance drive unit in the rear there. So that energy is stored there, and then when we're ready to drive, the drive units regulate the amount of power that flows through the wheels, and that's how we're going forward here. Now I'm seeing the chat box, or I'm seeing some chats in here, so I'm gonna take a look. Hello, Cam, welcome in Jerry and Ken, welcome Sean, welcome Gary and Jerry and Steven. Very cool. Welcome to EV Live. Hello, I see Michael is joining us from Arkansas. Awesome. We have Jerry in from Iowa and Brendan from Batesville, Arkansas. Awesome. Welcome in. And then Cam says, Buffalo, New York, go Bills. Very cool. Nathan, my name is Steph. Welcome to EV Live. Now that we've taken a look at where that energy is going to be stored once we do charge, I'm going to walk over to our home charging section. Walking past some product specialists here, giving those one-on-one sessions that you guys can all join us for. Now we do have these 3 different charging units, and one of the major benefits to switching to an electric vehicle is having the capability of charging at home. Makes your life a lot easier if you can do that while you're Netflix and chilling or getting other things accomplished. Not stopping by the gas station sounds great to me. So we have 3 different units here. We want to make sure that we do have a EV for everyone. So in turn, we want to make sure that we have a charging station that fits everyone's needs. Now, since we do have some communication here, type in the chat box how many miles or kilometers you typically drive per day and your favorite GM EV, and I'll tailor this experience to you. Now we have our 3 different driving or charging stations here. The first one is our dual level cord set. This comes with all of our Ultium based EVs. Gives you the capability of level 1 and level 2. When we're talking about level 1, that is our 3-prong or 120 volt outlet there. We have those all over our home. And then level 2 is going to utilize a 240 volt, also named a NEMA 1450. We use those on bigger appliances like washer and dryers and such. Now, when we're utilizing this system here, we're going to see there are a couple of different figures mentioned. The kilowatt actually speaks to the amount of energy that's going to be flowing through that particular cord. Like I said, this one is the 3-prong, the 1.4 kilowatt. So that's how much energy is able to flow through. And then the 12 amps speaks to the amount of amperage that's going to be needed from that person's electric panel. So we want to make sure we have 12 amps or 32 amps available. And in general, we don't ever want to go over 80% of the available dedicated amperage for safety. Okay, so let's see if I got some numbers in here. Oh, lots of numbers. Okay, so I'll go with the first person. Okay, so Jerry was first, and he said he drives about 37 miles per day. And Jerry, that's quite regular. We know that most people drive about 30 to 40 miles per day. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's great that the dual level cord set comes with pretty much all of our vehicles. Because that being said, with that 1.4 kilowatt, you're going to be able to get up to 4 miles of charge per an hour, or 6 kilometers per an hour there. That's going to be able to be utilized. That's why pretty much everyone needs to upgrade to that 4-prong outlet, the 240 volt, to get a really good experience when they're charging at home. With this one, you're going to be able to get up to 25 miles of charge per an hour, or 32 kilometers of charge per an hour. So with that being said, with Jerry driving 37 miles per day, he's going to be able to recoup his full range and most of our EVs in about 2 hours with that 25, up to 25 per an hour there. So this dual level cord set would work great for Jerry. You can pop in the level 1 and level 2 here. This system is actually portable. It doesn't need to be hardwired. We do utilize, you get about 25 feet of cord for your convenience here. And then GM does use the J1772 coupler here across the GM lineup. So this is what our coupler does look like. Now, for some of you that may have mentioned longer days, maybe you have a commute, we do have these other options. These are our Ultium-based charging stations. We have the Power Up and the Power Up Plus. The first one will give you 11.5 kilowatt, and you will get that when you hardwire the system. If you simply plug in this system into your 4-prong outlet, you will get 9.6 kilowatt. But we want to recommend that people do get it hardwired so that they can get that full capability there. It is utilizing 48 amps, so for safety, we need to have 60 amps available. This system will put out up to 34 miles of charge per an hour, or 49 kilometers of charge per an hour. So really great charge time there is possible. Brenton says his day is a 35-mile day, so for him, he'd pretty much be able to recoup his full range. There you go, right there with that Power Up, in a little bit more than an hour there with the Power Up. So here we have the Power Up Plus. It's featuring our top-of-the-line amperage here. You're going to be utilizing 19.2 kilowatt 80 amp. Now, not all of our vehicles are able to accept that 19.2 kilowatts. All of them are able to accept the 11.5. So depending on which vehicle you have, you may not be able to get that full capability, or they may need to upgrade their package on their vehicle to be able to have it. So it does depend on the onboard capability. That being said, the vehicles are smart. They will regulate it so they can all utilize it. They just might not be able to charge up to that 19.2. So with this one, you're going to be able to get up to 52 miles of charge per an hour, or 83 kilometers of charge. For example, the Equinox EV can get that. It can get the 52 miles of charge per an hour, or 83 kilometers of charge. All right, so the next question that's pretty popular is it very expensive to get this at-home charging system installed, or to get the 4-prong outlet? And I see some chats here in the chat box. I'm going to go ahead and catch up. Oh yeah, Cam says, does outside temperature affect charge time? Yes, it does. If the system is cold, it will slow charge time. EVs will regulate their temperature, so that battery pack will regulate the temperature. It does prefer to be about 70 degrees or 24 degrees Celsius there to be able to accept the charge. So it does slow charging on the go, as well as, let's say maybe your garage is really cold, or maybe you have your charging station outside. It does slow it down a little bit. And Jerry wants to know if that 19.5 kilowatt is that 40 miles an hour. So it does depend on the electric vehicle, but this one, like I say, it can go up to 52 miles of charge per an hour, 83 kilometers of charge. The Equinox EV does get that charge time, and so does our Cadillac Lyriq. Now, when we talk about larger vehicles, for example, the Chevy Silverado EV work truck or RST, it is able to accept this 19.2, but because it has that larger battery pack, it's a bigger pool of energy, it's going to get about 32 miles of charge per an hour utilizing this 19.2. So if you do have guests purchasing a larger vehicle with a larger battery, that's going to be a grade there, or a great choice for purchase. All right, so is installation costly? Yeah, I wanted to touch on that. So we do have some great programs with General Motors that could make your installation complimentary, or at least have an incentive for you. For example, the Bolt EV and Bolt EUV do have that option of complimentary installation. That's if your installation is standard, or you also have the option of 500 EV Go credits or Flow credits in Canada, EV Go credits in the US, Flow in Canada. And then with the Cadillac Lyriq, you get up to $1,500 towards your 4-prong outlet installation, or option B, 2 years of unlimited EV Go credits or EV Flow credits in Canada. So I want to make sure I touch on that. Those are some excellent programs there. Now, last but not least, a lot of people have questions about how much does it cost to charge at home? Is it very expensive? Now, paying for your at-home charging is done on your electric bill. To give people an idea of how much it costs to charge at home, you can actually look on your electric bill and see how much your kilowatt hour is. It will be in cents. So for example, the average in the US is about 16 cents per kilowatt hour. Could be more, could be less, depending on where you live, but just to give you an idea. And then you will multiply it by the size of the battery pack. Now the Blazer's largest battery pack is 105 kilowatt hour. So let's round to 100 and times that by the 16 cents, and that'll be about $16 for a full charge. So extremely economical there. Now I'm getting ready to wrap up this presentation, so it's a great time to go ahead and get those questions in for me. Before I wrap up, a quick note. I wanted to state that all of the charging ranges we discussed are GM estimates based on EV industry charging averages and are not applicable to specific vehicles. Actual charge times are based on battery condition, output of charger, vehicle settings, and outside temperatures. We always recommend referring to that specific vehicle's manual for limitations. All right, now let me take a look at the chat box here and see if we have any questions. You know, Brenton asked, are there any plans to expand the home charging programs to any other EV models? You know we have the Equinox EV and the Blazer EV showing up on lots, and I haven't heard anything about there being an incentive for their installation yet, but definitely stay tuned. But I haven't heard anything yet. Oh, $16 per a charge. So it would be the size of the battery multiplied by your kilowatt hour price at home, and that will get you from, a complete charge there. So yeah, depending on how much you drive, I mean, for example, the Blazer goes up to 320 miles of range. So with that particular package, it'd be $16 for 320 miles of range. All right, very good. Awesome. Well, I do want to invite you guys back. If you enjoyed this format of group tour, at 7 p.m. we're going to be doing the Silverado EV walk around, so you can learn a little bit more about the Silverado EV. And just so you know, we are available 5 days a week. We're here Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and then also Friday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us in the US at evlive.gm.com and in Canada at evlive.gmca. My name is Steph. It was a pleasure hosting you. And as always, we want to invite you to look forward to a future with zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion. Thank you so much and have an amazing day.